hello everyone! Today what I'm here for is to explain the type of literature. Yes, I said literature, like cha-cha-cha. We don't say literature, literatur, whatever. We have many types. One of them is a crime novel. Crime novel is a story that there are murderers, there are robberies, there are bad people committing crimes. Then we have science fiction novels, or what we say sci-fi. Sci-fi are those stories that aren't pretty much real, for example like Star Wars, like Harry Potter, because they are like magic or based on the future. Then we have historical novels, the ones that explained what happened in the past. For example, wars, for example, pandemics. Another type is the horror story. As the name says, a horror story explains horror things. Some of the typical are the Stephen King writer. You know him? Other types are autobiography. A biography is the life of a person. So if it's an author, it means that it's your own life story. Another type of story are the short stories. For example, like tales for children, that they are just short stories. Then we also have the romantic stories, the ones that I love. Another type is the travel literature, the ones that are used when we want to travel and we want to know more facts about the place that we are going, for example. And then we have poetry. Poetry is based on poems. Focusing on the elements of a story, we have different parts. One of the elements that there is in the story is the opening. The opening is how the story starts, the beginning. For example, Don Quijote de la Mancha. You know that the opening is very famous. En un lugar de la Mancha, de cuyo nombre no quiero acordarme. Then we have the plot. The plot is basically the story of a film, of a book, is what happens in the story. For example, taking the novel of Romeo and Juliet, there are two families that are enemies, and the boy of one family falls in love with the girl of the other family. So they marry in secret, and the girl pretends to... And opposite to the opening, we have the ending, which means how a story finishes. Then we have the opening, we have the plot, and then we have the ending. Then we have the setting. The setting is the place and the time where the story happened. Talking about Romeo and Juliet, we can say that it happened in Verona, which is a town of Italy, and it happened in the 14th century. Another element that is essential are the characters. For example, if we talk again of Don Quijote de la Mancha, we have Don Quixote, we have Dulcinea, which is the girl, and then we have Sancho Panza. These three people are the main characters. Then we have a hero, which is mainly the good in the story. If we talk about Batman, Batman is the hero. But who is the villain? Because villain is also an element of the story. One of the villains of Batman is the Joker. Then we have the dialogues, that are the parts where the characters or the protagonists speak and they have a conversation. And those are the most important elements that we have in a story. I hope that you learn a lot of things about stories and that you like my explanation of all of them. See you in the next video. Bye bye!